Hello everyone and welcome back to a new season of Blooming Daily. Woo-hoo! I am so excited to be here today. I have missed this space so much. I could not tell you how much I have missed this place and recording and sharing with you all ways you can live healthy. But we are back. And we have a lot of exciting topics lined up for you. Joining me today in the studio is the amazing Daniel King. Woo-hoo!
Thank you for having me on this podcast. Great honor. Thank you, Ruth.
Hi, Daniel. How are you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
I am doing fantastic too. It's so good to have you here.
I know. You're blooming today.
Oh, thank you. Guys, as you can tell, Daniel is one of my favorite people on campus, and he is simply amazing. So I am very
too kind. Too kind.
I am very delighted to have him on this podcast because he is going to bring a lot of great energy to this. So thank you so much, Daniel, for joining me. How has the semester been for you?
It's good. Not too bad. Just taking 4 courses. Been in a cappella along with just playing basketball. It's been good so far.
Nice, very nice. So for those who don't know how the boarding system works, 4 courses is what everyone takes, except you're doing over. So he said just 4 courses,
just 4.
it's just no. He's doing what he's meant to do. Yes. That's what I'm also taking 4. So yes, it's so good to have you here. And today we're going to be talking about new beginnings. The semester just started, and people are trying to get into this new rhythm or school of coming back on campus. And this is just going to be chill episode, honestly, to just say it's a new beginning. So how can you be, intentional about your health? It's a new beginning. What are some of the things you need to put in place? That's what we're going to be doing. So, Daniel, how has the semester been concerning your health? How have you been able to balance academics with eating right, sleeping right, exercising? How has that been for you?
Compared to last year, it's been better. For sure.
Snap.
I think last year as a first year, I still needed some time to settle in, find a routine that's best for me, find a good balance between academics as well as prioritizing, rest as well as just work-life balance. But I think this year for sure, after going through that first year, it's easier to maintain a routine now. My roommates and I, Alex, Mohammed, Evan, we've been trying to wake up consistently at 6:30, sleep pretty early at 10.
Wow.
So that's been pretty good so far. We've been waking up early, eating a big breakfast, making sure we get our macros, our proteins in.
Let's go.
Yeah. But yeah, I think because last year I woke up pretty late, relatively late, around 10, 11, but now waking up at 6:30, I don't know, I just feel more energized, and there's just so much more time to work on stuff, study, go to the library, or even work out. So in that respect, it's been really good. Yeah,
that's so good to hear. And I love that you mentioned routines, because I think routines are very important, and I just really love that you're implementing that. For me, it's been interesting because I got a cold, I think, twice.
Yes.
And so it's been just so much going on for me. But now I'm getting into a routine, right? And that's why I was yes, we're going back to recording episodes because now I have a balance, right? And so even though the beginning was slightly rough for me, I am back in the game.
Yeah, and I think it's always hard beginning a routine.
Yes,
starting one is hard, but once you get into the groove of it, it gets easier. It's easier to maintain.
I totally agree. I was telling a friend, I think a week ago, that exercising has now become a routine for me. I go to the gym at least 2 to 3 times every week.
Are you going to the Thursday ones at 4?
Yes.
Very nice.
I go to those ones. Yes. So Daniel was referring to the women weightlifting session that is being done on campus, and I go to that every Thursday, and I really love it because like working out with a community. So if you notice from our conversation, we've spoken about routine and community. Those are some of the things we'll be highlighting in a few minutes on this episode. And so it's a new beginning. You know, we want to prioritize our health. We want to make sure that even as we're on the grind, as we're trying to get those straight A's, and as we're trying to do all those things, we're making sure that we're in the right state of mind, right? And for you, Daniel, how do you think that can happen? How do you think you can make sure that as you're, you know, studying well for your exams and you're writing those papers and you're going to lab, you're also getting what you need? What do you think are some of the things you personally think you can do?
That's a great question, and I'm sure a lot of students are trying to figure that out as well for themselves. But I personally think, you know, during like a grind session of like, you know, you're studying 2-3 hours, I think it's very important just to take, you know, maybe like a 5-10 minute break. What I like to do is I love to take walks, just quick, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, breathe in the fresh air outside, touch some grass. And just really immerse yourself in the nature around you. You know, get away from the academic space, get away from, you know, technology that's in front of you, and just, you know, just admire the trees, admire the sky that's outside.
That's true.
So that's one of the many things that I think are helpful. Yeah, and I think in terms of mindset, being grateful really helps a lot.
That's so true.
Yeah, just being grateful that even like the tiniest things, like being grateful that you're able to wake up, you know, feel rested, have a bed, have a roof over your head, being able to, you know, eat food, you know, where a school provides food for you, able to walk, able to even come to an institution like Bowdoin to study. I think that's something I'm eternally grateful for. And so I guess it kind of motivates me more, giving me energy. But I think those two little, I guess, like tips or techniques are very essential to kind of give you that drive and also give your mind some rest.
Yes, I think that you mentioned really good points. For me, it's been being intentional about setting out times to do these things, like being intentional about setting out time to go to the gym, being intentional about setting out time to eat breakfast, because I think breakfast can often be skipped, like, oh, don't worry, I'll just go to class, you know, and being intentional about putting all these things on my calendar about, oh, I need to swim on like a Saturday, and putting that on my calendar, and oh, I need to rest on this particular like day, you know, putting that. So for me, intentionality has been one of the major things I've like implemented this semester. Not leaving things to chance, right? Being intentional about getting good sleep. Being intentional about getting good sleep. That's one thing I have been very intentional about. I'm like, oh, it's like already 12:30. I need to be wrapping up. It's already 1. Okay, I need to sleep right now. And because I work late, on some days I get back like past, you know, midnight, and so I tell myself, oh, I can't like be scrolling on Instagram now, even though I haven't had time to catch up. I'm like, I still have to sleep because I'm going to have to wake up early. So like intentionality has been one of the things. But now I want to flip the questions. What are some of the challenges you have faced so far, right? So we've said, oh, intentionality and, you know, the little things like when you're studying, go outside to take breaks. What are some of the challenges you faced?
I think maintaining a routine for the long run can be very challenging at times. I think...
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, so I mentioned that starting a routine is hard, but then once you get into the groove of it, it's a bit easier. However, maintaining that same routine for a long time can sometimes, for most people, burn you out. It's true. It would be challenging because, one, as the semester prolongs, there's going to be more things that you're going to have to juggle, right?
Very
more
true.
friends to, you know, talk with, hang out with, more essays, more exams to kind of balance around with. And also you want to have fun. Like you want to go on to BOC trips. You want to just hang out with your friends and watch movies, right? And I think just, I guess like in the starting weeks of the year, it's of course easier than like the later part of the semester of just, you know, more things coming at you. academically, socially, and as humans, like we have like a physical limit, you know,
Yeah.
like our energy
Absolutely.
has a limit, and it just comes to a point where we're like, okay, I need more time to rest than before.
Yes.
You know, maybe I'm taking more frequent naps or more walks outside. I mean, which I think is very important because as humans, we need some time to. I mean, there's always a time to work and there's always a time to rest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Daniel, that was such a great point. Consistency, right, is a big thing, right? So it's easy for us to start the semester by going to the gym 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, and be like, oh yeah. But it's not easy to keep that going for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. No, because at some point we're like, oh, I can't keep this up, and I'm going to like stop now. Like consistency, like you said, maintaining that routine is a big one, and that's why I really wanted us to do this and speak about this in the first episode of this season, to say that we understand that consistency is not easy, and we feel you, right? You're not alone. If you're struggling with consistency, you really are not alone. It's not like every other person is getting it right. Trust me, a lot of people are struggling with consistency, but you don't just see it because they don't come up to you to tell you, oh, I'm struggling with consistency, right? So first of all, you are not alone. And for those even outside Bode, knowing that consistency is very important, whether you're in school, you're not in school, you're already working, because I know some of our listeners are also working, those that just left school. So I know that maintaining that routine is very can be very challenging, but you are not alone. That's the first thing to know. And getting a plan that works for you is something that can really help, right? So that your friend goes to the gym 5 days a week does not mean you have to go to the gym 5 days a week, because your friend's body is not your body, right? My body is not Daniel's body. Daniel's body is not my body. Daniel's body is not Alex's body, right?
Each person has their own specific plan and routine to themselves.
Exactly,
What
right?
works best for you.
Exactly. Just like Daniel said, what works best for you, right? That's one key to helping you with this issue of consistency, because if you try to do what someone else is doing, then it's not going to work. So Daniel, could you share with us what your gym routine is like, or what your workout routine is like?
Sure. I mean, so these weeks I've not been consistent. However, whenever I have time, I do go to the gym. So what I'm trying to do or maintain is I go to gym Monday, Tuesday, I rest on Wednesday, go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and rest on Sundays. However, if say I'm really busy on Monday, I'll push all that like routine a day after. So I do like Tuesday, Wednesday, rest on Thursday, and the workout like Friday and Saturday. But I always rest on Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, Sunday absolutely is my rest day from anything.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm so glad that Daniel was honest with this and didn't tell us I have been on the grind with my workout. Because just like I said, guys, nobody is getting it. Literally, everyone is constantly trying to improve, right? And like, you know, we say on the show, it's progress over perfection. So there's nobody who is doing it like, except those that are like top like athletes. And even athletes sometimes have days they're not consistent, even the best of the best, right? So not to talk of people like us who are in school, who are juggling so many things, right? So for me, I try to go to the gym Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. But sometimes I don't go on Fridays if like I'm too tired from the week. But Tuesdays, Thursdays, those are some days I always go to the gym. Tuesdays, Thursdays. And then I try to swim on Saturdays. Except I didn't swim this past Saturday. Because I was just too tired when I woke up. But yes, maintaining that consistency. You see, I mentioned 2 to 3 days in the week where I go to the gym, but Daniel mentioned more. So you see that how it differs per person. So that's what it is. Just knowing that, for you it's going to be different, and you don't have to follow what another person is doing if that doesn't work for you. There's no like one size fits all for this whole thing, right? Everybody's different. And so I was wondering, Daniel, how's your accountability like? Because I want to talk about accountability, but I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I talked about how consistency is a challenge in maintaining a routine. But I think one of the many factors that helps that is accountability. You know, having just a couple of friends that can hold you accountable.
Very true.
And it could look like just, you know, doing a routine together, or like one part of a routine. You know, just like me and my roommates, we try to wake up at 6:30 a.m.
Yes.
You know, some of us, like, not gonna lie, some of us will like oversleep. But it's okay. But since the rest of the group is trying to achieve and maintain that goal, it kind of motivates the other roommates to say, okay, like, let me, you know, since everyone else is doing it, let me also try and improve my like sleep routine. And so I think accountability is a very key factor in, you know, maintaining your routine, as well as just motivating you and avoiding burnout as well. Like, I mean, like last week, Saturday, we worked out together.
We did. I worked out with Daniel and Alex and Evan last week.
Exactly.
That was so cool.
So it pushes you, and it also pushes your friends around you just to succeed and really achieve a healthier lifestyle together.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very true. For me, accountability looks like what Daniel just said. He said that last week we worked out together, and that's true. I remember texting him earlier in the week, and I was like, hey, do you want to work out together? And he said, yes, sure. And we worked out together on Saturday, and that was so cool. And so that's what accountability looks like for me too. Telling people, oh, do you want to do this with me? I have a friend, Fia, who I work out in gym together sometimes. And sometimes she texts me and she sends me like workout videos. And she's like, she sends me like videos on like squats and
positive peer pressure.
Yeah. That's what it is. Like she like sends me videos. So shout out to Fia because it's just amazing how much your friends can push you to, you know, do better things. And so that's what accountability looks like for me. And so if you're thinking of, oh, how do I stay consistent? Accountability is one very important thing, knowing that you don't have to do this alone. Again, you're not the only one struggling with consistency. And so you don't have to do this alone, right? And so I've just touched on various things that, you know, we've experienced in the past few weeks. And so now I want us to outline some strategies as we close this episode. You know, this was just a welcome back, guys, episode. Welcome to season 2. And so we are going to outline some ways you can be intentional about your health. And the first one I'm going to start with is intentionality. And Daniel, could you speak about intentionality?
Yeah, I think with intentionality, there needs to be a purpose. There needs to be a goal.
Yes.
There needs to be something that you want to achieve for yourself, whether that be, you know, academics or social life or just personally, some goals that you want to better yourself at and improve. I remember, Ruth, you came into my room and you asked me, like, Daniel, what are your goals for the next year?
I did.
And to be honest, I was like, I don't have a specific plan. But I think through that interaction, that really made me realize that, oh, wow, I really need a concrete, well, not even concrete, just like a written plan of, okay, I want to better myself in this way, right? Get rid of all the habits that have not been helping me in this other way, and perhaps do it with people around me, having that accountability as well. So I think having a purpose, having an intent in whatever you want to better yourself in is very important. And I would say, as you know, Ruth pushed me to write it down on a Post-it note, have it, you know, right next to your desk on the wall. So whenever you wake up or whenever you study, you can see it every time and say, okay, I remember my goals. I'm not gonna forget it. I'm gonna put it in the back of my mind, and I will subconsciously think about it and, you know, strive to achieve it. Fantastic.
You know, when you said something, a phrase popped into my mind: intent fosters intentionality, and I was like, deep.
Preach.
So yeah, that's how I felt. So yes, intentionality is very important, and like Daniel said, having goals is very important to make this work. And so the next one I'm going to mention is accountability. And honestly, we've said a lot about accountability, so I'm just going to sum up what we said by saying that having someone, you know, look out for you as you do all of this, or work with you as you try to achieve these goals is very important, right? Yeah. When you have someone who can push you, you notice that even on days where you really don't want to like work out, or on days where you just don't feel motivated, they can help you get up to the emotional state you want to be, and then you can work, right?
Yeah. And I really think it's important that, you know, you just have a couple of friends, not too many.
True.
Just one or two who you can trust and also cooperate together. I think it's very easy to be competitive.
That's
against
true.
peers. You know, just saying like, oh, I'm going to work out more than you. But I think that's just not helpful in many different ways. And instead of competition, I think really find friends who will build you up.
That's true.
Who will cooperate and collaborate with you, and just be happy in your successes as you're happy for them.
Yes, that's very, very true, right? Cooperation over competition. That's another thing. So we said intent fosters intentionality, cooperation over competition. And now we're going to talk about consistency, right? We've spoken about that before, but I also just wanted to sum that up by saying that consistency is very important. When you are consistent, it will become a part of your routine. And the more consistent you are, the harder it will be to continue on that path. Yeah,
I think for consistency, it can get difficult for sure. There are some people who are in the camp of, okay, I need a strict plan and you know, everything that I need to do, it needs to be like by the clock. While I do and somewhat agree that it is important, I also think that adaptability is a very key factor in consistency. Because like I said before, there's going to be a lot of things along the road where, you know, more things are going to accumulate, and you're going to have to try and balance these things. So I think as you know, go about the semester, you will learn how to adapt. You will learn how to fit things into your schedule, know what things to take out. Like, for example, my gym routine, I have not been consistent. Well, one, because of academics, but two, because like some people, they want to play basketball. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I can not go to the gym on Thursday, instead replace that time with basketball. So I guess adaptability as well as prioritization. What do you prioritize more? Of course, this aspect is also very specific to each person. Some might prioritize academics, which I totally understand and respect. Some might prioritize, you know, social life with your friends, with relationships, catching up and maintaining your friendships, which I think are also very important aspects of consistency.
So, yes, very, very, very important. And then I wanted to mention the last one of rewarding yourself, right? That's what I want to end this episode with. I think that a lot of times we don't think about that, right? We do something for a whole month, we're consistent for a whole month, but we don't reward ourselves, right? And I'm not saying rewarding yourself by indulging and like undoing all the good things you've done, right? But finding a reward for yourself to say like, girl, you did it. Like you came this far. Oh my, like finding a way to celebrate those small wins is very important, right? So this again varies on a person by person basis, but I think that taking out time to reward yourself, even if it's every week, 30 minutes to just like maybe go paint or like just go on a walk or just do something that would just make you feel happy about where you are now, about the progress you've made, about all of that.
Yeah, and it ties back to the accountability aspect of having friends. Share your successes with them. Share it to them and say like, hey, Ruth, like today I got onto the podcast. I think you should congratulate me.
Yes,
in that way, yeah. Or even just like, you know, just treating yourself. Of course, not excessively, but you know, just like go to the C-store, you know, buy your favorite snack and just like, hey, I did it today. Yeah. You know, another day I was, you know, able to go through everything I've gone through, and just being grateful for where you're at, like you said.
That's very, very true. Just making sure that it's not excessive, but you're rewarding yourself. You're saying, hey, I got up to this point and I am so proud of how far I've come. I'm so proud of the progress I'm making. I'm so proud of everything I've been able to achieve thus far, right? It's very important. So that's amazing. So we have come to the end of this episode today. Thank you so much, Daniel, for
Thank you
coming
for
on
having
the
me.
show.
It
This
was a
was
delight.
amazing. You are such a wise man, sir. You are such
Oh, I learned it from the
wise
best.
man.
I learned it from the best. What do you mean? You know this.
Oh my gosh. So it's so great to have you. And don't worry, guys, Daniel will feature on subsequent podcasts. So this won't be the only
Coming
time you would see him. He will feature in podcasts and videos that are going to be made. So
Sure.
don't worry, you'll have more of Daniel. So
Let's do it.
thank you once again, Daniel. And I will see you guys around. Don't forget to like this podcast, the Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, everywhere. Comment and share to those you think will also find this helpful. I remain Russell Jabi, and with me was Daniel Kang. We will see you guys next time.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Bye.
See ya.